Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Yeah, I hope it's been a good one for you and that you're pivoting to a wonderful evening. Let's talk about the sleeper must awake today. Hope you like the Bugs Bunny, some levity, uh, just something different. Always trying to bring something different for your perusal. Frank Herbert, some of you are familiar with him, American author of the Dune fame. He said, without change, something sleeps inside us and seldom awakes. So that's pretty smart. There's something very insightful there. The technical term for what Herbert is referring to is consciousness and or being conscientious at each possible level to everything outside of ourselves. Right. This is what Herbert is talking to, this idea of being asleep or awake to the world around us is the good stuff for today. And I think the difference between the two states of mind or two approaches to the world are very significant, and the implications are can be certainly profound. Now, I acknowledge the abstract nature of that, and probably a lot of the stuff I talk about is abstract, so forgive me if it's too abstract. So let me try to frame this in a way that we can get something from it. There are a couple levels of awareness or consciousness that I want to talk about. The first is to recognize just the sensory data, sight, smell, taste, feel, hear, to pick that up in the environment. That's the one level of awareness or consciousness. Awake or wokeness, right? The material data that's available to us. We are awake in the moment and we recognize what's happening around us. The next level is a little more complicated though, and it requires a couple of things. First, that we are aware that there's immaterial data out there. And secondly, that we understand that immaterial data. It's the extrasensory or non-sensory stuff. It's all the psychology. It's all of the motives. It's all of the traumas, and all of the people around us in any given setting, say in a meeting or in a classroom. So being awake, being aware of that, having a consciousness, being conscious really takes on a lot of immediacy, but also some depths and some breadths. Let's consider a couple examples by way of explanation. The Hebrew judge Samson and the Hebrew brothers Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. See, Samson was awake to the fact that the Philistines were there to arrest him, but he was asleep. He had no inclination. He was totally unaware that his relationship with God had fallen in such horrible disrepair, that the Spirit of God had left him. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego on the other side, they were awake, they were aware, they recognized the realities of the fiery furnace, but they were awake also to the implications of their covenant relationship with God. So in Samson's case, the Philistines were there to arrest him. Wasn't really the problem. The problem was he completely misunderstood that his relationship with God was in a horrible state. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, them clearly recognizing the dangers that they were in, did not take away or cause them to forget that their relationship with God was always of greater value and more importance than physical security. Samson was only half awake, and that cost him dearly. The Hebrew brothers were fully awake, on the other hand, and they became legendary figures of faith. So two mindsets, very, very different. There's a kind of a sleep at the wheel, per se, half asleep, where I'm seeing what's around me and the immediacy, and then there's the fully awake where I recognize not just the immediacy, but also all the depth and the implications, the drivers, the factors of the stuff beneath the reality. Dr. Einstein has some really relevant insight for us. He said no problem can be solved with the same level of consciousness that created it. So does Lao Tzu. The Chinese philosopher said the key to growth is the introduction of a higher dimension of consciousness into our awareness. Dr. Steve Pinker, he's a renowned psycholinguist and a popular science writer. He said, I would argue that nothing gives life more purpose than the realization that every moment of actual consciousness is a gift. So, if you really want to make life as beautiful and as meaningful as it can, if our goal is really to do that, we should make sure that we are not half asleep as we move through it. Otherwise, y'all have a great day. I'll see you next time.